あこんばんは。シャキさんこんばんは。今日もありがとうございます。体調無理なさらず全然大丈夫でございます。ハーストーリーをやろうと思います。どういうゲームなんでしょうか。スタート。頭痛大丈夫さ。ありがとうリッキーちゃん、こんばんは。大丈夫です。ロイン名アウスゲスト。アーカイブにアクセスするための検索ワードを入力してください。これ何？ハードディスク。俺が入れんのこれ。検索履歴。一回やってみる？11秒。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
私はどうすれば。94年6月27日の動画。次は4月の動画だ。
Yeah, that's me. But February? I mean, that was months ago.
2月。
What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモンっていう人が死んでるっぽい。4月2日後ぐらいか。
Speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
この人が疑われてるのか、もしくは自分以外の誰かが疑われててそれの弁護をしてるのか。何でしょうかこれは。殺サイモンって入れてみる。これサイモン。めっちゃ出てくるじゃん。6月18日の動画。
Simon Smith.
サイモン・ス
He
ミ
works
ス。
at Ernst Brothers Glass.
アーンスト・ブラ
They
ザー
do
ズ。
windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work.
アーンスト・ブラザーズ。
Making feature windows, artistic things.
設計担当ってこと？設計担当。アーント。ちょっと待って、なんて言ってた？アーント。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers
アーンスト・
Glass.
ブラザーズ。アーンスト。ここにかける。アーンスト・ブラザーズ。ちょっとこれメモで入れとくか。アーンスト・ブラザーズ。セクションに保存。なるほど。こうやって、なるほどね。はいはいはい。
It's the Rocking Arms. The Rock.
ピーターとスーザンっていう完全にカップルが経営してて、
There's some other regulars there that
サイモンは
Simon
常連、お客さんだったんだ
in
ね。
the bar with their
ヘレンって娘も働いている。
Peter said
サイモンの
Simon
日
came
何
in and had a few
もう何
drinks.
倍か飲んだらしいよ。ちょっと、ね、登場人物多いなこれ。なあ、いきなり。
It's the Rocking
ザロ
Arms.
ック、ピーター、ザロック、ピータースーザン、ザロック。ザロック、ピーター、ザロック、ピーター、スーザン。あと誰？
It's the Rockington Arms. Other regular.
ヘレン。ヘ ヘレン。で、多分このゲームこうやって動画見てキーワード覚えてって、それを検索してって、真相にたどり着く系のゲームやろ。52個のクリッパーが見つかりました。アクセスできるのは最初から5番目のクリップまでです。あ、だからサイモンって入れただけの検索ワードだと52個あるから、日付の古いだよな、多分これが。6月18。これがあ、そうだね。古いやつからしか見れない。5個までしか見れないよってことね。
Yes, there's an Amstrad
アム
one.
ストラッドのパソコンがある
No
わ。
one uses it very much. There's
プ
a
リンターも
printer
一緒持っ
so
て
you
て。
can
アムストラ
write
ッド。
letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
もう、なんかいっぱい出てくるね。アムストラッド。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
サイモンが今行方不明。6月の段階だと、サイモンが行方不明になってるっぽい。
Thanks. Please find Simon.
彼は
so much.
失踪してるっぽいな。今日すぐ逃げてったぞ。逃げるように帰ってったな、こいつ。怪しいね。アーンストブラザーズ調べるか。アーンストブラザーズ。アーンスト、アーンストブラザーズ。あ、これにしか出てこないの？あ、これしか出てこねえ。ザロック。ザロック。どっかの俳優みたいだな。筋肉ムキムキでハゲの。あっ !2 つ追加された。これどのタイミングだ？ 6 月18日の9時、19時20分。
So,
昨日の夜に口論して彼が出て、
we had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't
エリ
come
ッ
back.
クを手伝うことになっていたけ
Waited
ど、
all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show.
彼は来ないってエリックは電話で
So
言って
Eric
る。
was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark
18
again.
日はじゃあ、
So I decided to come see you.
月曜、ああ、警察に来たのか。
I don't either.
ちょっと待って。
On Saturday,
エ
he
リッ
didn't
ク
come.
ね、エリック。だいぶ時間経ってる。あ、これ違う女の人か、これ。
I guess the Rock. We've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know.
これ同じ人？
So many things could have gone wrong.
これ同じ人か、これ。やべえ、わかんねえ。ピーター。じゃあ次ピーター調べてみる？ピーター1件しかないわ。スーザン。ってことはピーターはあまり犯人とかそういう可能性は低そうってことか。スーザンも出てこないね。ヘレンはヘレン。だこれで多分名前が多いやつが怪しくなってくるんじゃない？動画で出てくる名前の多いやつが。彼はヘレンに口論ごと話した。はいはい。そのザ・ロック アーンストなんたら
He
の
likes Helen.
ブロンド
He
の女
likes
が好き。
blondes.
ああ、だからストーリー的には西川ヘレンじゃないわ。ヘレンヘレン僕はなヘレンだからまずサイモンと口論をしてでサイモンが出てきました。でザ・ロックの店でヘレンにそのことを話しました。で翌日の土曜日にエリックを手伝うことになってたんだけど、エリックから彼が来てないって連絡があって、で今日になっても連絡がつかなかったからこうやって警察に調べてくれっつって来たと。アムストラッド調べましょう。ああこれだけだわ。じゃあエリックそうなると最後にあったと思われるエリックがうわだいぶ出てくるな。怪しいんじゃないかということだね。
He was wearing,
彼は青いタートルネックのシャツを着て
the blue turtleneck
ジーンズを履いてい
shirt
た。
and jeans.
もろブルーカラーだな。
He has a watch.
それと素敵な腕
It's a
時計をして
really nice one. That was a gift from his
G ショック
boss,
かな
Eric.
上司のエリックからもらったもん。
He had his coat.
あとダッフル
A
コート
long
も
grey
着てるは
duffel
ず。
coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
ダッフルコートこれちょっと入れとこう。ダッフルコートが見つかりましたみたいな話があるかもしれない。
Yes, there's a
車はキャバリエに乗ってるわ。
Cavalier and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there
電話
now
鳴ってる
out
な。
on the street.
車動いてね
Not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
キャバリエとバン。あとこれなんか電話が鳴ってたの。これだけちょっと覚えとこう。ティランとキャストにありついてる。待っとけ。そんなすぐ登場人物でも出ないから待っとけよ。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa,
ビザカ
a
ード。
silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
財布とビザカード。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
ダイアン。ゴイゴイっすゴイゴイっす西さダッフルコート。出てくるかなダッフルコート。1個ね。名探偵津田の出番ですか。そうかもしれない。キャバリー。なんか変わんないか。ビザはなんか反応しそうだな。え半角じゃないとダメ。あら。財布もダメなの？監視か？あ、お、1個増えた。
He has a wallet.
大きな財布持ってるわ。
Sealed leather,
本革。
real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets.
うん。
Always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Sets the discs.
ああ、そうそうそう、マジでね、 尻に財布入れない方がいいんだよ。腰痛くなる、本当に。
When he comes in, if he's in the house.
別に入れてる時はいいんだけど、入れたまま座るとね、マジ骨盤が歪むんだよな。俺、それでマジ腰痛くなったよな、昔。覚えてます。ビザビザって書いてる。ダイアン。行くか、ダイアン。おっなんか待って。愉快な格好になっていってるな、だいぶ。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids.
奥さんね、ダイアンは。
She used to look out for me when I
エリッ
worked
クの奥
there.
さんだったよな。うん、子供が2人いる。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time
グラスゴ
must
ー。
eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴー。あとさ、ちょっとさ、やってみたい。この日付を入れたら動画が出てくるのかって。ちょっと後で、一旦これを全部見たらちょっとやってみよ
Not really.
う。いいえ。からパブに行くことが多いから。
He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies
その
there,
常連
but
と飲
no
み
one
友
ever
達にな
really
って。
came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket.
スーパーにフェンネルが売ってる。
Have you ever eaten
何
fennel?
フェンネルって。ファンネルじゃなくてフェンネル。フェンネルって何？フェンネル。よくわかんないけど、フェンネル入れとこう。ギター持ってんだけど。
Simon and Eric arguing?
サイモンとエリックは口論？
I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
一回日付入れてみるか。例えば、この010794。あれダメなんだ。日付はダメなんだ。やっぱワードじゃないとダメなんだな。グラスゴーちょっと本命だからフェンネル入れてみるか。フェンネル。まあ一気だけど、そうだよな。あとさ、行方不明。おっ
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. No,
だからグラスゴーに行ってた。どうだ、これグラスゴーって入れたらこれ出てくるのか。すごいいっぱい出てくる。なんか紙下ろしてるけど。これが6月27。こいつは同日だ。どっかで結ぶんですね。
So I got in the car and I drove.
車に乗って走り出した。
I just kept driving north.
けど
Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away
キャバ
as I
リーとか
could.
車家になったんだ。
When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
だから口論した日に彼女はグラスゴーまで行ってたと。
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
公衆電話から家に電話かけて、まあ、出たか出なかったか分かんないと。
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
ああ、目撃者の話だな。
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty.
タクシーにぶつかってしまった。
Badly. And I hit a taxi.
タクシー。
Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
結構ちゃんとしたアリバイっぽいね。タクシー、一回タクシー調べるか。おっ
A police station.
警察署に
Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police.
友達と家でしたね。
So they came and picked us up and
ポーツマス
took me
ポー
back
ツ
to
マス
Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station,
イブになすりつけた。
but I blamed everything on my
Eve.
friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
誰イブって。
It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call
Hana
her
に電話した。
phone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back.
花。あ、電話したのは花になんだ。
I had decided that
サイモンに
she
花
was
も
more
大事だって思
important
っ
to me than Simon.
た。花ちゃん。お、しんさんこんばんは。これはハーストーリーです。このなんか動画を見てって出てきたキーワードで新たな動画をうわおいっぱい出るやん。妊娠すごくない？でなんかこの動画の真相にたどり着くと
I got pregnant.
妊娠した。
Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
これグラスゴーに2人で行ってんのかな、花と。あ、新の版見ました。強そうっすね、あれ。同盟がついてない。
I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
あ、流産しちゃったんだ。
We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
かっこよかったですね、イラストね。
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
なんか両親もなんかあったっぽいな。ちょっとこれメモっとくか。両親、相続、家。
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant.
え
It's morning sickness.
えなんか音楽鳴り始めたんだけど。はん ?25。これは ?27。流産し、流れちゃったんじゃないの
No. Well, yes. You found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
どういうこと？イブちゃんって誰？
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
イブは悪友って感じか。
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head under
やば。殺そうとしとるやん。
There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her.
そういう衝動的なところがあるんだな、こいつ。
But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
怖っ。
What are you doing talking about Eve?
これ二重人格かなんか？花
My mother called me Eve.
ほら、イブと花の二重人格ってことかこれ。こいつの名前知りたいのこれ。この女の人の。
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work from here, though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
花スミス。花ちょっと待って。
My name is Hannah Gladstone Street.
グラッドストーン、ちょっと待って、グラッドストーンストリート、グラッドストーンストリート。花スミス。花スミス。待って、なんか嘘発見器にかけられてるわ、これ。これあれじゃない？髪下ろしてるときは花で、結んでるときがイブなんじゃない？これ人格として。これそうだろ、多分。 ちょっと待って、これ、花って言ってたよな。そうだよな。結んでるときはイブで、下ろしてるときは花なんじゃないか、これ。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry. Across the road, where my parents
フ
first
ローレン
lived
スと
there,
助産師がい
was
た。
a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper. She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
いや別に髪を下ろしてる云々は関係なさそう。ストリートのあれがスとトリートメントみたいになっちゃってる。スとグラッドストーンストリート。グラッドストーンストーン、まあ、グラッドストーンでいけるか。あ、出ない。スミス。名字。ダメだ、出ないね。フローレンス。これどうなったら終わりなんだろう。いっぱい出るわ。ちょっと待って。これ何これ。ロジックデータベース。コンピューターテクノロジーは現代の警察活動の根幹を担うものであり、このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の流れをデジタル化し、より活用しやすい形で証拠を保存するための試みの一つです。犯罪に対処するための最重要ツールとしてコンピューターの需要は今後も一層高まっていくことが予想されています。このデータベースにはポーツマスの凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブに集めたビデオ映像が収納されています。データは ASR テクノロジーによって自動的に整頓され、各証言は個別のクリップに分割されて保存されているため、それぞれにキーワードを追加することで法廷への提出の際などに活用することができます。クリップを取得するには検索ボックスに言葉を入力する必要があり、例強盗、言葉を入力して検索を押すと、その言葉が含まれるクリップが検索されます。また半角スペースで区切って複数の言葉を入力することで検索の幅を狭めることもできます。例としては強盗、スーパーマーケットなど。テープを文字に残した資料などが手元にある場合は、発言の全文ダブルクォーテーションで囲うことで、その発言と完全に一致するクリップを見つけ出すことも可能です。その場所にあいたとか。検索したクリップを後で参照したい場合は、セッションに保存をクリックしてください。また、タグボックスに任意のキーワードを追加しておくと、その言葉からクリップを検索できるようになります。その他の質問に関しては、所属する署内の IT 担当者にお問い合わせください。ポリスインフォメーションテクノロジーオーガナイゼーション。ITO ってことですか。これか、なるほど。これで何件出たかわかんのか。だから、こっからより絞ってみたいときはってことね。なるほどな。イブは7件。そういうことですか。Really read me text。こいつがデータベースだ。情報公開法にの沿って申請し、ゲストとしてのアクセス権を取得しておいたよ。見たところちゃんと議論しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだが、その後の Y2K 騒ぎやなんやで、こいつが放置されたままになっているようだ。残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方は見つけられなかった。あるいは1997年の洪水の際にやられてしまったのかもな。何せよ、これだけでも情報としては十分なはずだ。SB。SB ね。SB 見てみるか。SB ってなんか出てくる？出ない。じゃあ、フローレンスで。一回ちょっとこれ使ってみるか。フローレンス。よし。助産師は私を連れて帰った。母は一人の健康な赤ちゃんを見たことで満足し、悲しい記憶を忘れるという意味でも、フローレンスに後始末を任せたんだと。どういうこと？え？なんか今映ったよ。フローレンスの家で育てるやつ、原則に出なかった。
It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
じゃあ二重人格じゃなくて本当にちゃんと双子ってこと？
Florence was a warm, kind person, but she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it, older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
長かったな。
No, it was just me and her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
紙じゃあ紙じゃない紙手紙とかなんか紙の上では饒舌って言ってたから出るんじゃないこれ出るね。
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale.
壁紙とかな。
Furniture. The lights work. Mirrors, beds. Big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it. Invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all. Passports, diaries, gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. we'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Oh! え、そういうことか。こんだけあんのか、データベース。これが全部緑色にならないとダメなんだ、これ。これ見たらこれが埋まるってことかな。
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures.
お、橋本くんこんばんは。
Something intimate about
ゲームですこれ。
peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
あ、いや、なってないな。あ、なったわ。え、データベースチェッカー。これで何個あるか分かる。時計。16年の6月26日。これはなんか意味あんのかな。じゃあ、とりあえず、あれだね。このサイモンの52を埋めていきたいね。これで、サイモン、エリックで調べてみるか。お、いいですね。はいはいはい。
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor.
ダグとエレノア。
And then I decided to come and see you.
ダグとエレノア。
Eleanor?
これはね、なんかこの橋本くんまだいるかな。これはこの動画を見ていって、で出てきたワードをここに入れて、どんどん別の動画を見て事件の真相をはっきりしていくと。でちょっと待って、これさ指輪つけてるじゃん、結婚指輪。この時はでさ、ちょっと今整理すると、多分サイモンが行方不明もしくは死んでるっぽい。でそれに対してこれ多分ハナとイブがそれぞれこれ事情聴取呼ばれてる。 双子。で、サイモンと結婚してるのは多分イブなんだよ。で、サイモンが失踪した日に、なんか、北のところまで車走らせて、タクシーにこすって、で、妊娠してたから病院に行ったのがイブ。で、花に電話して帰ったって言ってたから、花は、まあ家にいたっぽい。どこの家かわかんないけど、家にいたっぽい。で、多分だからイブとサイモンが、結婚してて、一回ちょっとこれ見てみる。これさ、婚約指輪つけてるかこいつ。
It's like I told you before. I drove.
いや、わかんな
I
い。
took the car and drove. I don't have my own car.
北に行った、そうそう、グラス号ね。顔だけだとわかんないけど、これ指輪でわかんじゃねえか、これ。で、多分、髪下ろしてんのがさ、花なんじゃね
Yes, there's a car that we share.
下ろしてんのが花なんじゃないか疑惑があるんだよな、これ。言わしてる？あ、してるわ。
Simon Smith.
してるわ。じゃあ違うわ。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag.
あれは
Okay.
結構同じこと言ってない？2日後にまた同じ証言してる。
Okay. I walked upstairs whilst I was in the shower. And
これはただただ非互換と同じ証言をしてるのか、別々の人間が同じ証言をしてるのか、何なんだこれ。
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing.
なんか左腕にあざかタトゥーがあるね。
Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. Yeah. Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
待って。
Yes.
これタトゥーないな。6月25日。こっちはこれ誰だ？これ花だな、これ花だ、多分こいつ花本人っぽい。これ花本人っぽい。これ花っぽいな。これだってこれないもんね。これも
Okay. Then this time I spoke to him.
グラスゴー、イブ。あ、出てこない。花。もうそもそもグラスゴーだけはあるか。お、
Hannah was so smitten
花
with
最後に夢中
Simon.
になるあまり。
She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. Kept changing
ああ、
places in the
そうなん
toilet.
だ。なるほどね。
We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the
Carl.
beach board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
ああ、なるほどなるほど。なるほどなるほど。うんうんうん。なんとなくこのサイモン、ハナ、イブの関係が分かってきましたね。だからイブとハナが双子で子供の時に別々になっちゃってけどあるタイミングから多分入れ替わる生活をしてたんだろうな。で双子だからという理由なのか分かんないけど同じ人を好きになりやすくでそれぞれサイモンの子供を妊娠したけどハナは流産しちゃった可能性があると。
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but
ダメだっ
it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys,
た。ああ
men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
これさちょっと待って双子だと思ったけど今の話だと彼女に合わせて生理が来て今の話だとやっぱりこれ二重人格説あるけどなこれ。
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It was like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I
ウィッ
started
グをかぶる
very
ようになっ
quick.
た。
Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I don't know how to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
二重生活まだ続けるってことこれ。あ、やばい、なんか今、キーワード。あ、そうそう、ウィッグ、ウィッグ、ウィッグ。
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic spell. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
これ映ってんの自分かな。花というかイブというか。間違え違う違う違う違う。おっウィッグで結構出るな。
A wig? You mean? But what type of wig?
これキーワード検索してさ、ちょっといろいろ動画出てくるの嬉しいな。うおってなる。
I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
ウィッグなんかつけたことない。あ、やっぱある
This
な。
other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
猫の入り口出した。猫これなんかあれだね。花の方はイブの存在を否定してるっぽいけど、なんだこれ。
This was 9, about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left. ウィッグで7個ある。猫。猫結構出るやん。ブロンド？あ、ブロンドでも出るね。 Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said a spring photo.
写真
This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
写真ローマ。待って、写真とローマ。ちょっと先に調べよう、これ。うおローマはああ、なるほど。写真だけじゃ。まず猫をもう一回見ましょう。
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard.
家
to
の
open
状態
anyway.
だねこれきっと。
It's stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
これけどやっぱさウィッグ一人片方がカツラだってことはやっぱ結べないんじゃない？カツラの方はイブなんじゃない？あ、違う、結んでる方はイブなんじゃないの？
No, no cat.
ドミノ
My
っ
parents had a
て
cat
名
before
前の
they
猫
died
かって。
called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
あとカールも調べとくか。カールも出るだろうな。そうだよな。なるほど。
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by
水の信号。
code that we'd learned from a book. The knock code.
あ
Something prisoners
あ、
of
はい
war
はい、
would
モールズ
use.
信号な。さっきのトントントンって床やってる、机叩いてたの多分そうだろうな、あれ。
Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
だから、両親は双子で生まれて片方が死んじゃったと思ってたけど、実は生きてて、それがハナとイブで、で、ハナの方、イブの方か、どっちだ？ハナの方か。やばい、もうハナとイブが、どっちがこっちだになる？わからん。でもどっちかが隠れて、屋根裏に住んでたんだろうな。両親に隠れて。で、このモールス信号で、子供の時は、ハナとイブで連絡を取り合ってたと。
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes,
Oh.
put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical.
筆跡は同じ。
And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand
暗
them
号
anyway.
筆跡と暗号。ああ、まあさすがにか。暗号出んじゃない？あ、出ないね。なるほど。
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street.
指輪ついてるな。
There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son, oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one, oh, the dreadful
れ2人の関係のことじゃん。3人か。サイモンもとりあえず三角関係。
Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. She floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swans. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
なんか実績解除した。なんて書いてあるこれ。クロックハックミラーゲーム。は？顔になってる。え？なこれ。一人オセロやん。何これ。赤が勝つようにするか。これをやるとなんかいいことあるのかな全くの謎ですけど。 赤が全部取っちゃった。てなことやってる場合じゃないんじゃ。
No.
タトゥーは入れてないわ。
Tattoos. He has a scar down here near his
お
stomach.
腹から死にかけて傷はある。
Cut himself with some
ガラ
gloves.
スで切った。
That was before, a long time ago.
てかさ、そんなんさ、
He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though.
そ
He takes them off with the
そこま
camera.
で体に違いがあるんだったら
But he needs them to see properly.
サイモン気づくはずだけどね。
A newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much or watching TV. He likes TV.
タトゥーになっちゃった。立てよ。うん、まあそうだよな。
Yeah, we were 17.
タトゥー入ってるもん
It
ね。
was a nice man, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos.
17で結婚してんだ。
His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's.
あ、ちょうどダイアナ王妃の時代
It
の
really wasn't
設
quite
定だも
full,
んな。
though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car. Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was
こっちの
sexy.
タトゥーが入ってる方の性格はなんかあれだね。
We were 15.
落ち着いてないよね。
No, I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after
私た
about
ち
6
に飽き
months.
たらしく別れることになった。
It was sad. But those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Family.
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah
Eh?
had a boy, I would have to pursue him.
うん
It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
落ち着いてる方がイブっぽいな。
No, he was as shy as me. I asked a friend to ask him out for me. We had our first date at the Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid. He bought me a whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth. If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, harness to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snapped a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
はいはいはい。結構埋まってきたのかこれ。埋まってんのかな。
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
これが花だな。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion.
え
I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
えタトゥー彫ってんじゃん。
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
インスタントファイルアクセスって何これ。これの話だよな。じゃあこれどっかでサイモンにバレたってことか今のやつ。
One couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity.
妊娠したか
They
ら
lived
だよ
with
ね。
his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
イブだなこれ。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
あ、まあこのワード調べたくないな。
They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days, no one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage, the worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
これ別にあれか定期的に起こるのかこの画面に映るのは。
I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications. Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
え？やべえ。わからん。なんかちょいちょい話が噛み合ってないんだよな、これ。多分、どっかまでは。6月までは、双子だよってことを言ってなかったのかな。両親で21個もあるな。両親イブとかで調べてみるか。ダメか。これ何をどうしたらゲームクリアなんだろう。お。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school.
ああ、ダグとか調べてないのまだ。
Just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
ダグが向こうのお父さんとかなのかな。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought.
どっちかの性別はよく横見るよね。
She'd been, and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags pulled them open,
え
saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
んわお
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
エレノアも調べるか。エレノアになっちゃったはいはいはい。私ダグから見ましょう。
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that. Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot
10年前
summer,
か。
a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat.
え
It's just awful.
ダグとエレノアが死んでたってことこれ地下で。
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just... The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people had been there through my things. It's like I'd been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in, as good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for
え、
the
これ
funeral.
サイモンの死体か
It's going to be a cremation. So,
いやこれアーカイブ全部時系列で並べたいん
It
だよ。
happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone.
え
We took him down to the cellar. We knew we
自白しとるやん。
and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us so we could then disprove it rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch to make sure the alibi stuck.
え自白してますやん。え
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other police.
もう一人の刑事さん。
I found the body. His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses.
これ飲み物が1個あるときはまだ2人双子だって分かってない
Doesn't always work.
タイミングだったのかな。あるタイミングから2つになるもんねこれ。あ、違うか、落としたからかさっき。
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock tonight. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
これちょっとまず決定的なワード入れるわ。双子って入れてみようこれ。三つ子かもしれんこれ。なんかどういうことだ。待って、何これ。この服初めて見たな。
Twins.
双子
Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins? There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did.
ダイアナ王妃ブームだったの
And
かな。
later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
屋根裏と離婚と結婚を調べよう。屋根裏。離婚はないか。じゃあ屋根裏からいきますか。屋根裏11もあんのか。
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
けどこの段階でも2人で話してんだもんな。
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
まあさすがにか。
A long time. We got married when I was 17. Childhood sweethearts. Something like that. Are you married, detective? I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us. We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
エリックも多いな。
Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously.
お、結構増えたな。けどまだこんなになんだ。結構調べたと思ったけどまだまだだねこれね。
It's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby. When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them. Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room.
Yeah.
His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead. Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. He's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad.
これあれか精神分析みたいなことやってんの
He's
か。
ill and he might die.
うん。
It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
出ないのか。
Just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it
一
in
人の
turns
人間を
to
二人
do
に順番
things.
にするようになった。
And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them. It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before. Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Share it, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
え、これサイモンも2人いたとか言わねえだろうな。まあその後はないな、さすがに。ダブルサイモン。
okay, she's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
Eh? え？まだ。あれ、家になった。え？タクシー、病院。
Ask the hospital.
アリバイを確認するため病院に連絡したと。
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital. I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
エヴァにし
I
たいと
didn't
言っ
want
て
her to have a symmetrical name. My name? That was the only question I failed. Your lie detector works.
嘘発見器。
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work? ？I wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just, it was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys. You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
今さ、まあ、こんだけ埋まってるじゃないですか。ただ、ここら辺、激しく何も埋まってない。ここら辺の情報が知りたいよな、これ。これ、これが何なのかとかはわかんないんだな。どうですかこのゲームですか？面白いです。セックスは6件あるのか。名前。やっぱサイモンだよな。サイモンの何かを。
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
これさ、なんとなく分かったわ。サイモンがとりあえずこのハナとイブの双子てか、まあハナとイブが双子で、ただ一人は死んだと思われて存在を秘匿されてたけど、まあ、ある時出会って、どちらかの家の屋根裏に隠れて住むことになって、で、それからは、一人、イブだかハナだかわかんないけど、どちらかの人生を二人で共有して生活してて、まあいろいろルールを決めて、あざができたら同じとこにあざを作るとか、そういうルールをやってバレないように過ごしてた中で、サイモンと出会って、デートをして、で、まあ子供ができてしまったので、17歳で結婚しました。けど、子供が流れちゃって、で、その時に妊娠できない体になったんだけど、もう片方、双子の片割れが、まさかサイモンの子供を妊娠してしまったと。で、それが何らかの理由でバレて、サイモンに。で、ただバレちゃうと、その、二人で一人として生きてることができなくなると。で、片方が片方を捨てるっていうこともできないから、じゃあもう口封じのために子供を育てていくために産んでサイモンを殺そうって言って殺しちゃったんじゃないこれ。そういう形じゃないかこれ。サイモンが52個もクリップあんだよなこいつ。これどこだこれ。これここか。
think it's mad?
これここか。この一番最初、これなんだこれ。これどこだ。やばい。これだな。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
スミス。違う。容疑でも調べてみるか。お、来た。
Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect?
これどこだ。ああ、ここか。
That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once. This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions. About me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
この一番最初のデータが欲しい。これ犯人。やはりこのキラーワード。犯人出てこない。赤ちゃん13個。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much? Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
ラプンツェルで調べてみるか。絵本の方がいいかな。
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
カード。絵本。あ、絵本出ねえんだ。へえ、カード。カードも今のだけかな。だけか。現金。夫。お。
There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to. I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
警察か。一回警察も調べてみようか。
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. We could argue about anything.
10年夫婦ってことは27か、今。
That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything.
そうだよね。17で結婚って言ってたもんな。
When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one.
これどこだ？ああ。
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective. Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them. Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend.
Imaginary friend.
Once she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear. She went mad. Get dressed this instant. So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. My mum was amazed. Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out.
実習じゃない。こっちの実習じゃない。これ多分話的にはもう後半でもバレてんだよな。どっちかが裏切ってんで、裏切ってるっていうか。お、来た。
No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon.
今のがここか。これサイモン何を検索したら出てくる？イブ。いや、イブとか花さっき調べたもんな。サイモン、花、イブって。これっていうのは全部埋めるのが目的ですよね、きっとね。このゲームって。赤ちゃんでやるとめんどいから赤でもダメか。車。お。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
探偵女子だって。
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And I... Excuse me. Is there a bin?
え、座り？あ、けどなんかあれだな、さっき確かにどっかでよくあることなのって言ってたもんな。この一番最初を埋めれば結構何かしらいい方向に進むと思うんだよな。屋根裏ってさ、どんぐらい出たんだっけ？どんぐらい見たっけ？お。
Suicide? No.
ああ、自殺か。
He would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No. What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
こんなさ、タトゥーが合ってなかったらもうこれおかしいだろ、これさ。気づくやん、普通に。なんであなたタトゥーがないんですかっつって。殺害は出てこない。殺人か。殺人最初のワードだもんね、これ。最初のこれね。殺人。サイモン。余談だけど、小学校の時に来てた海外の先生の名前がサイモンだったな。残酷な我々はずっとサイモン、臭いもんって言ってたけど、今にして思えば本当に最低な子供だったな。ごめんなさい、もう。いい先生だったな。ニコニコして。サイモン。時効ということで、そうですね。まあ時効なんてものはないんだけどな。もうだってさ、謝った方がいい。ちなみにクラス全員が言ってた。男全員言ってたわ。本当によくねえよな、小学生のガキって。さあ、待て、これもそもそもワードとしてない。エリック。あれ、探偵ナイトスクープでやってくれそう。サイモン、ガラス。ダメか。てんてんてんてん。レールの
Well,
周り
we met when we
に
were 17, both working at the
何も
police.
かも脱ぎ散らして週末だけの秘密の部屋。これが2番目だよな。あ、3番目か。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
プロフィール。紹介。ダメか。お名前。名前さっき調べたよな。そうだよね。教えて。いえ。毎回いいじゃないかよ。これ、入って入れたらどうなんだろう。まあ、やめよう。こんなにまだ残ってるからね。ここのラインがめちゃくちゃ空いてんだよな、これ。ここ何があったんだろう、これ。花。花で19個あるんだよな。花。なんかとなんか、数の多いものをちょっと組み合わせて探していきたいね。このキーワードで、花ウィッグとかで調べてみるか。ダメだね。ウィッグじゃダメ。タトゥーは4件しかないから全部見れたと考えていい。花両親で調べるか。あら、ダメですか。あ、調べてるわ、過去に。屋根裏。お願いする探偵誰にしようか。誰にしようかな。カンペイちゃんにし
The
ようか
legal
な。
stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there. あれサイモンと花って一緒に調べてなかったっけ。あれさっきなんかあった気がしたけど。あグラス号だな。あれあれああ、調べてるわ。花、イブ。
エリック。エリックはヘレンって調べたっけ？ああ、調べてるな。ダイアンってどんだけあったんだっけ？ゴイゴイスーダイアン5か。スーを差し上げます。スーをどうぞ。アンチグレー。ああ、これ綺麗になるんだ。
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
今出てるキーワードでアリバイとかは調べたっけ？調べてるな。ブロンドって調べたよな、確か。ナイフ。ミシフになっちゃった。ナイフ。
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. Oh, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
もう一人でやってみるか。お。
Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving.
誕生日を調べてみるか。
I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Yes, that's my birthday.
だからもう12時超えとるんか
I
い。
guess you can see that. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
彼とか彼女とかっていうワードもでも調べてみるか。
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
彼氏彼女の事情。ダメだ。彼女。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
これ自分たちの境遇を逆で言ってんだな。浮気とかで。浮気。お、結構出たな。
An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair.
これでサイモンのワードも1個埋まったわけだ。
Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can.
これ17歳もちょっとワードとして出るかこれ。17。ああ、5個か。彼女で29ある。彼で73もあるわ。あ、そうか。彼女をそのうち内包してんのか。ってことは、女ってキーワードだけで、29あるってこと？おい、どうしたらサイモンお前の、なんだこれ？何？あ、サイモンで今出たのね。難しいね。イブで7個だけなんだな、ワード。 難しいな。窓。
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic.
愛愛愛愛愛で10個のクリップが見つかる。素晴らしいです。
No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me. No. Everyone loved Simon. He's a glazier who doesn't have much money. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
これどこだ？だいぶ後だな。二人。あ、二人じゃダメ？え？ひらがなとか。違うんか。はあ。ガラスってどうだったっけ？7個か。
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
Oh!
When will the police let me back in the house? They let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it. By hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. It's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror. And he gave it to me. Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy.
二人とも。
After the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
鏡か。凶器は鏡の破片。
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
出ないか。これ2がさ、半角ならいくか。ああ、じゃあ2みたいなこれ。人よ人。2人。あらダメですか。結構埋まってんだけどな。2人で18もあんの？え？2人彼。だいぶ埋まりました。ただまだまだ足りない。いやー、白状じゃない、白状。あら。真実。本当？出ないのこれ真実でも。本当。うわっ。
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
嘘。電話。お。
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
お。
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
デート。
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
だから気づいてたんだな、きっとこれは。気づき。
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. Helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
28個ある。まあそりゃそうだな、こんなワードな。
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs.
階段で滑って。
It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother.
ああ、はいはいはいはいはい。
So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
なるほどね。これコンティニューできるのか。これログオフするとどうなんだこれ。ああ、そういうことね。一旦今日ここまでにしとくか。だいぶ埋まりましたが、半分ぐらいは埋まったのかな。半分以上かな。まだちょっとね。だけど面白いなこれ。ちょっとこれで全容、なんとなく全容は想像で把握したけど、やっぱりまだ確証が持ててないところもあるので、画面に立ってどうですか推理。私の推理を今からでは、ね、お知らせしましょう。まず犯人は花です。これはイブではなく花が犯人だと思います。で、話の流れとして、まあ幼少期の頃にイブと花とイブは双子で生まれたんだけど、片方が死産であるという風にまあ勘違いされて、花の方は自分の両親に育てられたと。ただ実は死産ではなくて一人は生きてて、助産師の女性が、イブの方を引き取る形になりました。で、ある時イブの育ての親の助産師が死んだことをきっかけに、花とイブは一緒に住むことになったと。両親には内緒で、実の両親には内緒で、あくまで花という一人娘という体で二人で花として過ごしていたと。で、17歳の時にサイモンと花が子供ができたということで、 結婚しました。ただ花は子供が流産で流れちゃって、でもう子供ができない体になったと。でイブの方はその17歳の時に花が妊娠した時に自分も妊娠しないとバレるからっていうことでいろんな男の人と寝て試したけど結局子供はできなかったと。でただイブからすると運のいいことに花が流産して子供ができない体になったのでまだ2人で二重生活が続けられるっていう風になってたんだけど、あるタイミングでイブとサイモンの間に子供ができてしまうと。でけど花の方は子供ができない体なのにイブの方に子供ができてるともう二重生活ができないからどうしようかっていうことを2人で話し合った結果、優先するべきは子供だという結論になり、でそれをサイモンに打ち明けたと。でその結果ちょっと詳細は分からないんだけどサイモンの方からノーが出た。そのノーが2人と過ごせないなのか子供が産めない花に対してなのかは分かんないんだけどノーが出て、その結果花がサイモンを殺してしまったと。で2人は偽造工作をしてなんとかそのサイモン殺しの罪を逃れようとしたんだけど結果バレてしまって、この取り調べ中にバレてしまってっていうところですね。これはそういう大筋だと思います。あとはその動機が合ってるかだとか、そういうどういう経緯でサイモンを殺すことになってしまったのかっていうところをこの見つかってないファイルを見つけて埋めていきたいなというふうに考えております。であとは気になるのはこのデータを見てる私は誰なのかというところですね。これちょいちょいこのなんかさちらつきで自分の顔が映ったりしてるのはなんか意味あると思うんだよなこれ。なのでそれをちょっとまたこの後も解明していきたいと思います。それでは今日は終わります。お疲れ様でした。さよならさよならさよなら。